Oh, people of the world. It's marking as a foreign language time. Facebook provides new overview of how its ad system works. TikTok's algorithm, how does it work? Explained by TikTok themselves. Search trends during COVID-19 and the exit phase. Google creates a new source of traffic with Keen. What the heck is that? Twitter introduces voice tweets, and users now able to block political ads on Facebook and Instagram. This is marketing as a foreign language. Oh me, oh my. Just got back from the beach. So happy, so filled with joy, so ready to get back to work. Facebook provides new overview of how its ad system works, trying to get your head around how Facebook advertising works and how to get the best reach and results for your business. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Andrew Hutchinson. With more organizations looking to online options, blah, blah, blah. Overview of key points. Here we go. Audience targeting, which is selected by advertisers and determines which people are eligible to see ads. Facebook notes that it uses two key factors in determining which ads to show users. Got it. Audience targeting. The second would be ad auction process, which is based on a range of factors relating to bid price. Okay, that's fairly obvious. Your ads can be targeted to, say, folks who make over $100,000 a year, who like spicy food. You could do that. You could target people who make less than $60,000 a year and live in a certain zip code and have a certain preference, let's say, for bike riding. It's ridiculous. It's 1984. It's George Orwell's worst nightmare. It is demographic targeting to the ninth degree. They're going to start targeting based on things that you don't even realize you want yet. There was a story of a gentleman who ran into a Target and said, "How dare you send my daughter pregnancy-related advertisements?" And she's not pregnant, he said. And then turns out that she was. So Target knew before he did. Okay. According to Facebook, advertisers choose their target audience through our self-service tools. Yeah, audiences are created based on categories like age and gender, as well as actions people take on our apps, such as liking a Facebook page or clicking on an ad. Advertisers can also use information they have about their audience, like a list of emails. This is important to remember. So if you're old school and you got a bunch of emails, you can add a list of emails of people who've visited their website to build a custom audience or a look-alike audience. So you can use Facebook's in-depth audience targeting tools based on their profile. We get it. Look-alike audiences can be a particularly powerful option in this respect. With lookalikes, Facebook's systems are able to match the profile data of your existing email or customer list against other profiles on Facebook in order to find people who share the same interests and traits. So if you have an email list, you can create a lookalike audience to try to target folks that are similar. The accuracy of lookalikes does depend on the amount of data you provide Facebook's system and will vary from audience to audience, but they can be a good way to reach people. Got it. But here's where Facebook ads get a bit more complex. After you've chosen your target audience and submitted your ad, Facebook will then decide who actually sees your promotion by determining the best match based on this calculation. Oh my gosh, here it is. Gaze upon it, class. Total value as represented by a trophy. You have the advertiser bid times the estimated action rate plus ad quality. So if the advertiser bid is $1 times estimated action rate, I would assume that means likes, comments, etc., plus ad quality. Interesting. Let's dive in. Each Facebook user has a range of ads that they could be shown at any given time. That wall, that feed is so valuable. I don't think people realize it. I was just got back from California and I had a conversation with a gentleman who is a billboard guy. and he lives in a very large multi-million-dollar home in Huntington Beach in LA. And little did I know that billboards, you have to own the land itself, and then you can put up the billboard on your land if it's zoned for a billboard, and then you basically lease the space. It's very real estate, and I love it. I'm just all about it. The problem is that with billboards, ostensibly, you could buy land outside of town, and you could eventually, along the highway, eventually get to a point where a billboard might make sense. So there are ways to get into that. The modern day billboard, the Facebook billboard, there's no way in. There's no way in. What are you going to do? You can't build Facebook. You're not going to compete with Facebook. So it's different. The game's different. I wish you could. I wish you could buy digital space and work at like real estate on Facebook. Anyway, advertiser bid. How much money you're spending on your Facebook ads. This is obvious. Estimated action rate. Facebook estimates the likelihood that each user will take an action on the ad based on a range of factors relating to their individual behaviors. Oh, it's an estimated action rate. Okay. Ad quality. Facebook measures this based on feedback from users, how many people report or hide your ad, and the assessments of low quality attributes. Too much text in the ad's image, sensationalized language, engagement bait. Wow. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Esther E. Sass is on chat with the WHAT. What? Shout out to the SAS agency. Get your insurance with the SAS agency. Call Esther up, you want to. Okay, so Facebook measures this based... All right. So obviously you want to create quality ads, but this doesn't tell me how to actually calculate whatever this advertiser bid times estimated action rate plus ad quality. Whatever. Of these three elements, you can control the first and last point. You determine how much you're willing to spend. Obviously, an ad quality is based on a range of technical and objective factors, the latter being difficult to advise. Okay. So according to Facebook, they say to find the estimated action rate, machine learning models predict a particular person's likelihood of taking the advertiser's desired action based on the business objective. See, this is what's so, okay. For us to have gone from buy an ad in the Yellow Pages where everyone is like quadruple A locksmith, for us to have gone from that to likelihood of taking the advertiser's desired action based on the business objective the advertiser selects for their ad, like increasing visits to their website or driving purchases. Our models consider the person's behavior on and off Facebook as well as for us to have gone from there's a book that we all look at to whatever this is in one generation, to me is mind-boggling. I wonder what my kids are going to be up against. So obviously the takeaway on all of these things always is quality. So what the heck does that mean? That's like a client coming to you and say, make the graphic pop. Can you make it pop? Make the ad pop. What the heck does that mean? Oh, a bulleted list. You guys know I love bulleted lists. In determining user behavior, Facebook factors in things a person does while using Facebook apps, like clicking on an ad or liking a post, things a person does outside of Facebook that businesses share with us via our business tools. What? Like visiting a website, purchasing a product, or installing an app. Okay, so according to this bullet, whether or not you go to a website, apparently if Facebook has access via one of their business tools, they may consider that. And that is a very sort of Google-esque thing. So if you go to a website and there's a Facebook tool on it, they may use that with their ads. Yeah, they're really extending. Esther writes, so cost is cumulative, but based on their parameters. How do I answer that question? It would appear to me that whatever your bid is times estimated action rate. So you want that, do you want that higher? Well, obviously you'd want that higher. Plus ad quality. Look, it all boils down to whether or not you're getting conversions. That's what all this boils down to. So if you're going to run a Facebook ad and you don't have call rail set up, you don't have call tracking set up, you're toast. There's just no way. So if I am an insurance agency, say, and I'm running a Facebook ad, you have to be able to track how many quotes you're getting from that Facebook ad. And it's so hard because like your ad quality score is probably, I don't know if it's going to be pretty low. If you had a Facebook ad where they could do a quote right in the ad itself, I don't know. That might be interesting. I wonder if the various insurance, I'm sure that they've got those. That would be probably the best, highest converting option for me, is if I could just do the quote right in the ad itself. Yeah, so here you go. Good creative is really key. Yeah, duh. Ensuring you're creating messages that resonate with your target audience. In the end, as things get more and more and more and more complicated and more convoluted, the only things that matter are you creating an ad that people actually want to engage with? Are you tracking conversions on that ad? And are you paying too much for it? So there you have it. How TikTok's algorithm works as explained by TikTok. I keep talking about TikTok knowing that most small business owners roll their eyes 1,000 times. But I have to stay on top of it because, as I've said before, Facebook was not Facebook until it was Facebook, which is to say TikTok and Snapchat doesn't seem like they're going to be super important for business perhaps today, but you just wait and see. Okay. Not sure if I care about this. All right, so the main drivers that define which videos appear are user interactions, obviously, video information. This could include details like captions, specific sounds, yeah. Easy device and account settings. Lesser influencing factors are things like your language preference, your country setting, and your mobile device type, okay. So TikTok's algorithm is similar in in operation on most other social platforms. This is a really basic stuff. Okay, search trends during COVID-19 and the exit phase. The COVID-19 pandemic is still evolving, with the virus only now reaching some parts of the world, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so to provide some context, the team from Code Fuel has put together this infographic of emerging search trends. All right, let's take a look. So 44% more searches for leisure time. People are chilling. They chilling. 70% more searches for fitness equipment. My wife attempted to get a set of barbells or something. What was it? What did she do? Body pump? I think it's called body pump. Anyway, so she was trying to get these weights, and they were like, not today, son. No weights for you. So it's actually hard to get some of this equipment. So 70% increase in fitness equipment for obvious reasons. 19% increase in searches for hobbies, arts, and crafts, etc. I am switching my mouse to my left hand right now. And for all of the people listening out there right now, let me tell you, it's a game changer. If you just use one hand your whole life, it can really mess up that hand. You definitely want to balance out your hands. So try switching your mouse now while you are listening to this. It will feel weird until it stops feeling weird. That way, when one hand hurts, you can move and be more productive. Okay, so 87% of searches for antivirus software? What? Oh, interesting. So the shift to remote first work environment has generated a high demand for software security and productivity tools. There you go. So an 87% increase in antivirus. I just ran antivirus. So that makes sense. A 520% increase in video conferencing and online software tools. That is obvious. Again, I just got back from the beach, and can you believe it? Spirit Airlines, yes, the first class, ultra high luxury Spirit Airlines was packed to the brim. So I don't know if you traveled recently, but yeah. Literally yesterday, there was not an empty seat on the airplane. So there you have it. LAX was empty, though. It was unbelievable. The security line was, we were the only people in the security line, if you could believe it. So food and essential products up 54%. Okay, that makes sense. TV and streaming services up 86%. Travel down 45%. All of these things make sense to me. Everyone's looking for COVID-19 information. That's obvious. Everyone's looking, oh, back to school, sure. That makes sense. Okay. Decent little infographic there. Thank you to the fine folks at Social Media Today for continuing to provide excellent content. Google creates a new source of traffic with Keen. This I'm interested in, and I feel like I'm going to be let down by whatever this happens to be. But here we go. A new and potentially powerful way to attract more site visitors and drink coffee live. Oh my God, I love coffee. Google Keen proactively recommends content to users. Okay. 192 shares, 6,000 reads from our good friend Roger Monti. Google has quietly announced a content discovery service called Keen. Keen is being referred to as a Pinterest competitor, but that's not entirely accurate. Keen is a machine learning app that actively promotes relevant web pages to users. Keen is a machine learning app that actively promotes relevant web pages to users. Okay. It's poised to become a new source of referral traffic, which makes it worthy of investigation. Keen is an experimental web and Android app that is part of Google's Area 120 projects. They have infinite money. They have infinite money, so they have infinite projects. Area 120, because everyone knows what that is described as where small teams can work together in a small startup mode to bring innovative projects to life. According to an official post on Google, the project grew out of an husband and wife sharing information about activities that were important to them, activities they wanted to share with each other, as they gathered links and resources related to their hobbies and goals. The Googler understood that he needed a tool that not only helped curate, but share those ideas. Okay, it sounds like a project management. All right, a post from Google. Quote, "It was powerful to tell each other what we wanted to spend more time on, and once we did, we found that collecting related ideas, links, and resources together gave us a way to spend more time on our shared passions in real life. To explore this idea further, 4 colleagues and I created a new experiment called Keen." Okay. The curated content can be shared with the public, interesting, with specific people or kept private. What sets Keen apart from Pinterest? I don't see how Keen and Pinterest are the same thing. It uses Google search and machine learning to help surface content that is related to your interest. Okay, I'm interested. I'm actually interested in this, even though I still have no idea what it is. It sounds like project management software to me, or like a collaborative, I don't know, website, and yet they're making a reference to Pinterest, which to me is not that per se. Okay, this is a proactive content discovery method. Okay. According to the official announcement, you can, quote, save and add links, text, images, and web searches. Everything you add gets you more to explore. So it's the Pandora's box of the interwebs. That, quote, more to explore part is what is going to help the web ecosystem receive more traffic. Okay, Keen represents a new opportunity to grow popularity and traffic. The most powerful recommendation a website can receive is a recommendation from one friend to another. I would agree with that. The value of Keen to the web ecosystem is that it represents a new way for users to discover web content. Fine, I will look into Keen. A search engine is passive. It waits for someone to ask it a question. Keen is proactive. Instead of passively suggesting content in response to search queries, Keen actively recommends content that people will enjoy. This is far more than a Pinterest competitor. It's a way to grow traffic and popularity. Whoa. Web publishers, search marketers, and web stores may find it useful to look into Keen to see how it may fit into their marketing strategy. What? What's really going on? Keen. Keen. I almost want to take a little look-see here. Google Keen. Okay. But why can't I go to it yet? Why would a Google search for Google Keen not provide me with... Maybe there's no access to it yet? Oh, it's an app. That's right. It is an app. Okay. So it's probably a phone. It's on phone. All right. So that's something to check out. Google Keen might be something worth downloading. Could get interesting. Okay. Twitter introduces voice tweets. Twitter is introducing a new way for people to tweet using only their voice. The feature is in testing now. Our good friend Matt Southern writes on the 17th. Oh, happy Father's Day, by the way, to all the fathers out there. I know we're one day late on that, but my daughter and I were on the beach, and we bought little fireworks at Vaughn's by the beach, and pop! Happy Father's Day! It was so much fun. Anyway, Twitter is testing a new feature that will allow users to record voice clips to publish as tweets. Voice tweets join the many existing ways in which users can communicate on Twitter, a list which includes photos, videos, GIFs, and plain text. Quote, over the years, photos, videos, GIFs, and extra characters have allowed you to add your own flair and personality to your conversations, but sometimes 280 characters aren't enough. Got it. Starting today, we're testing a new feature that will add a more human touch to the way we use Twitter, your very own voice. Oh me, oh my. Like the voice of my son in the other room. Shall we take a listen? They seem to be having fun. At first, creating voice tweets is a feature that will be made available to a limited group of people on Twitter for iOS. Ah, I see. So it's not available yet, but in the coming weeks, everyone on iOS, why iOS only? Ridiculous. Should have access to voice tweets. Everyone, regardless of whether they're on iOS, Android, or desktop, will be able to see voice tweets in their feed and listen to them. Here's how to compose a voice tweet using Twitter for iOS. Interesting. Okay, is there a little voice button? Yeah, it's that simple. So the question then is how? There we go. Voice tweets are capable of capturing 140 seconds of audio. Those who wish to go longer can keep talking. Well, the first thing I think about is President Donald Trump. You know, I mean, if he starts voice tweeting, there you go. There it is. So anyway, start expecting to hear human voices on tweets. We'll see how that rolls out. And last but not least, users now able to block political ads on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook has announced users can now block political ads along with increasing transparency around ads and a spend tracker. Ooh, I'm loving this. A spend tracker for political advertisers. Yummy. As the scrutiny around Facebook's role in political information and advertising continues, they have made a decision about how to handle it. Continue to try and provide clean, transparent information and let the users decide with their votes in elections. Quote, with so much of our discourse taking place online, I believe platforms like Facebook can play a positive role in this election by helping Americans use their voice where it matters most by voting, according to Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, this is so slippery. A slippery slope. So much power. Facebook, Twitter, so much power. They have so much power. Rolling out on both Facebook and Instagram is a new feature called the Voting Information Center. All I see is Zuckerberg testifying in front of Congress, and I think many of their decisions they basically make with a team of lawyers in a room, and they imagine Mark in front of Congress, right? So there he is thinking about what the next thing is he's gonna have to defend, and it's tough. Yeesh. The definition of political ads include the following: social issues, electoral ads, political ads from candidates, super PACs, any ad type with a paid for by disclaimer. Yes, Esther ESAS writes, no Keen or Google Keen in the App Store. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. ESAS, Esther ESAS coming in with the investigatory work. We appreciate you doing that, Esther. That is odd that it is not available. One would think that it would be available. Perhaps it's only available for iOS, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Thank you for doing that. The action can be taken by either hitting the three dots on the ad or choosing. Okay. here's the thing. Public spending accountability, opting out of political ads. I mean, who do you target? How do you target them? When do you target them? I do love this public spending accountability. That to me is fantastic. Facebook will be implementing transparency and account spending. There will be an ad spending tracker present reflecting total spends for U.S. House races, Senate races, and also presidential candidates. I feel like this kind of, money out of politics, money, or, being a billionaire shouldn't give you this gigantic voice. That argument becomes an accounting argument when you actually have the data. I think right now, it's a little bit, how do I put this? Having this data is going to do something very similar to how everyone having a phone in their pocket has changed the world of policing. Because everyone has a phone in their pocket, police are under a ton of scrutiny because everyone's constantly taking video of them. And now we're going to have public spending accountability in the same way. So there's going to be all of this evidence, just waves of evidence as to all of these different parties, their spending habits. This is going to shake some stuff up, just like we're seeing in the world of law enforcement. We're going to see a big shakeup in the world of spending on, buying elections, for lack of a better word. Voting Information Center, the tug of war over whether Facebook should be involved in political messaging has been a contentious issue for years. Yeah, many have been frustrated with their refusal to put tighter controls in place, but Mark Zuckerberg has stood by his stance that Facebook's role is to facilitate information and participation in governmental elections. Quote, ultimately, I believe the best way to hold politicians accountable is through voting, and I believe we should trust voters to make judgments for themselves. That's why I think we should maintain as open a platform as possible, accompanied by ambitious efforts to boost voter participation. It's an impossible job. It's an impossible job. How do you do it? How do you police information? How do you police information? Still, like I've said a bajillion times, they're going to leave it up to the machines. It's not going to be manual. In that vein, Facebook has created a voting information center. It will provide details to users about how and where they can vote. This includes information about, this is just one more line item when Zuckerberg's in front of Congress that he can say, thank you to the representative from Kansas. We have created a voting information center. It provides details. It's like a talking point. They also note they will include posts from state election officials and verified local election authorities. That's interesting to me. I like that. It will appear front and center on users' news feeds. Okay. So look, they're doing the work, and I don't want to criticize them all of the time. But they have definitely been compensated. Excuse me. They've definitely been compensated for their work. Okay. So Facebook providing new overview of how its ad system works. Pretty obvious. We understand how Facebook ads work. You got to get really clever. You gotta track conversions. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Keep an eye on TikTok. We'll continue to do it for you if you continue to tune in. Search trends as we move out of this COVID-19 nonsense. Hopefully, get out of this second wave. We'll see these numbers reduce, but on average, I would argue that keeping an eye, at least one eye open on things like fitness equipment, cleaning companies. I mean, there are certain companies that received Paycheck Protection money that didn't need it. They did not need it. And then you had companies like restaurants that desperately needed it. So, it just, what are you going to do if you're the government? You got to try to stop the bleeding. New source of traffic with Keen. Again, thank you to Esther for trying to find that app in Google. Odd that it isn't available. I do want to. So it quietly announced a content discovery service called Keen. It's a machine learning app, right? But why can't we download it? It grew out of blah, blah, blah. It's odd. It's odd that we can't find it. Maybe that's something we'll have to explore. So Keen looks very promising, very interesting. But we were unable to find it, at least on this particular live stream. More on that later. Voice tweets. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but again, with, the talking heads and their gigantic audiences, voice tweets, we're going to start on, on the news be like, oh, here's the tweet from whomever, celebrity X, and then we'll listen to it. Is interesting to me. There's going to be a ton of people sending out tweets where they get cut off because they don't realize that's only 140 seconds of audio. And the other thing too that you have to keep in mind is Twitter has, I don't know how many millions of computers, how millions of servers they have to keep that website going. But if they're adding audio, this is a huge investment because now they have to hold on to audio files. And that's a big move. This is not small. It's actually a really, really big deal. And then users now able to block political ads on Facebook and Instagram. Down the rabbit hole we go. I don't think Facebook's going anywhere. I really don't. But I do think that there's a reckoning, like the Zuckerbergs of the world and the Facebook folks, living in San Francisco and these, $3 million houses and everything's great. And they're just making a ton of money. This is the yin to that yang. This is the dark side to that. You have to be responsible for an impossible problem. You have to somehow find a way to police. They're the information police, and they had absolutely zero desire to do that, I'm sure, when they first set out. But now that is exactly who they are. We may as well refer to Facebook as the information police. We've got local law enforcement, and then that begs the question, like, at what point does the government and do the people of the United States say, Facebook is actually a public utility. It's not a private-owned company. There are going to be a lot of interesting conversations about Facebook coming into the future because if they can swing elections, obviously, if you see an ad on Facebook and it causes you to vote one way or the other, there's ultimate responsibility goes down to the individual voter for being intelligent enough to make intelligent decisions. That being said, there is no argument to be made that Facebook does not wield an incredible amount of power in regards to what they are willing to show and what they are willing to suppress and why. So more on this as time goes by. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 32 glorious, and I do mean glorious minutes. Did you know that Gabriella on our team made an outro? Yeah, sure did. Let's see if I can find it. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a good one.